ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. Assalam-u-Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this lesson of Quran Tajweed course ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. We have been learning the rules of Ghunna since last two sessions. So we will continue the same in today's lesson. Today we will learn the rules pertaining to Noon Sakin and Tanween. So let's first know what is this Noon Sakin and Tanween, and what are the similarities and differences between these two. النون الساكنة هي النون الخالية من الحركة، وهي التي تثبت خطا ولفظا ووصلا ووقفا. The Noon Sakina is the letter Noon free from any vowel sign. It remains unchanged in its written form and in its pronunciation, as well as when continuing to read after it and when stopping on it. Okay? So Noon Sakin is a Noon which is written in the full form of Noon as a letter. It doesn't have any vowel sign on it, but it may or may not have this Jazm sign on it, depending upon the Mus'haf you are reading from. Okay? Now, what is a Tanween? التنوين هي نون ساكنة زائدة تلحقها العرب آخر الأسماء لفظا لا خطا ووصلا لا وقفا. Tanween is an extra Noon Sakin used by the Arabs on the ends of nouns when continuing the reading, but it is absent from the noun in the written form. So Tanween carries the sound of a Noon Sakin, but it is not written as a Noon Sakin. It is instead written as a double vowel sign, like here in these words: Kitabun, Kitabin, Kitaban. Notice these double vowel signs at the end of this word. That is this double Dhamma, double Kasra and double Fatha. Now these double vowel signs have a Dhamma, a Kasra or a Fatha plus a Noon Sakin hidden in them. That is why they are called Tanween, which actually means noonation or adding of a noon. Okay? So whatever rules apply to a Noon Sakin, the same rules will apply to a Tanween as well. By the way, if you want to learn more about Tanween, you may click on this I button above and watch lesson number 15, where we have discussed Tanween in detail. So here I was saying whatever rules apply to a Noon Sakin, the same rules will apply to a Tanween. Whether it is a Dhammah Tanween, a Kasrah Tanween or a Fathah Tanween. There are four rules of Tajweed that apply to a Noon Sakin and a Tanween, and those four rules are: first one, Al-Idhar, meaning the clarity. The second one, Al-Idgham, meaning the insertion or assimilation. The third one, Al-Iqlab, meaning the change. And the fourth one, Al-Ikhfa, meaning the concealment or the hiding. Now we have to learn these rules one by one in detail and learn how each of them applies to the Noon Sakin and the Tanween. Let's pick the first rule here, that is Izhar, in today's lesson. Okay? A gentle reminder, ILM Explorer channel is dedicated to the teachings of Islam. Our aim is to bring people closer to their Creator by spreading the word of Allah and His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So if you want to learn the teachings of Quran and Sunnah, then do subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get notifications of all our uploads. If you want to appreciate the efforts put in creating this content, then like this video and comment on it. And if you wish to be a part of this pious cause, then share this video as much as possible. It will be a sadaqah jariyah for you, inshallah. Thank you. This term Idhar is a masdar or a noun form from the verb adhara yudhiru, and it means to make something apparent or obvious or visible. Its applied definition in Tajweed is إخراج حرف من مخرجه بغير زيادة في غنة. It is pronouncing a letter from its articulation point without a prolonged or extra nasalization. So when we do idhar on noon sakin, we articulate it very clearly from its makhraj, without elongating it or without concealing it. There are 6 letters. If they follow a noon sakin, we have to do idhar on that noon sakin. And those 6 letters are Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, and Kha. So these are actually 6 throat letters or huruful halaqi. And if they come after a noon sakin, we have to read this noon sakin clearly and briefly, without putting any extra efforts in it. Let's see some examples here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. This is the ayat number 2 of Surah Al-Masad, right? And see this anhu in it. Here noon sakin is followed by the letter ha, which is a throat letter. So we have to do idhar of this noon sakin. That means we don't have to put any extra efforts to read this noon sakin. We just have to touch the front of our tooth ridge with the front of our tongue. That is the makhraj of noon. And articulate it simply like anhu, anhu. Okay? Next example. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. This is the ayat number 2 of Surah Al-Kawthar. Here again, see this word, wanhar. Noon sakin is followed by the letter ha. So we have to do idhar on this noon sakin by reading it clearly and briefly, without exaggerating the gunnah in it. Now in these examples, this noon sakin is followed by a throat letter. That is ha in the first one and ha in the second one, right? And both the noon sakin and the throat letter after it are in the same or the single word, right? Like anhu, wanhar. But it is not necessary that this noon sakin and the throat letter after it should be in the same word. They can be in 2 separate words, like min ghayrihi. So here min is a separate word and ghayrihi is a separate word. Still we do idhar of noon sakin as it is followed by a throat letter, that is ghain. The only condition for izhar of noon sakin is that it should be immediately followed by a throat letter, whether in the same word or a separate word after it. Okay? And remember, when it is the idhar of a noon sakin hidden in a tanween, it always happens in between 2 words and not in a single word, because tanween always happens to be at the end of a noun. It is never in the middle of a word. So the throat letter following it can only be in the beginning of the next word. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you. Now let's see some more examples of idhar of noon sakin and tanween in different scenarios. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Ayat number 4 of Surah Al-Ikhlas. Here, the first noon sakin is completely dropped. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ. No noon. It is an instance of idgham. We will learn about it in the next lesson, inshallah. The next words here are kufuwan ahad. So this noon sakin hidden in this tanween is followed by a hamza. And this hamza is not in the same word. It is in a different word, the next word. But still we do idhar here, like kufuwan ahad. No elongation of noon in this tanween. Just the natural gunnah that is present in noon. Okay? وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. Ayat number 8 of Surah Al-Qari'ah. Man khaffat. No elongation of noon. Okay? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. The first noon sakin here is assimilated in the letter ya, but that is not our subject here. Our subject is the noon sakin hidden in this tanween here, which is followed by the letter kha. So we shall do idhar here. That is dharratin khayran yara. Okay? Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. Ayat number 5 of Surah Al-Qadr. Tanween followed by a throat letter. So idhar. Short and clear noon. Salamun hiya. Okay? Let's see some more examples of idhar of noon sakin and tanween from Nurani Qaida, lesson number 9.
طيرا أبابيل نار حامية لمن خشي من غيره يومئذ عليها منه خطابا من عين آنية كفوا أحد فمن عفي من أخيه من أذن كتاب حكيم عذاب غليظ حاسد إذا حسد.
So whether it is a tanween or a noon sakin immediately followed by any of these 6 throat letters, hamza, ha, ain, ha, ghain or kha, and whether this throat letter and tanween or noon sakin are in the same word or in separate words, we have to read this noon sakin or tanween clearly and briefly from its makhraj. And this clear and brief articulation of noon sakin is called idhar. I hope you have understood this lesson fully, and now you will be able to identify the instances of idhar of noon sakin or tanween easily and read them perfectly, inshallah. With that said, let me take a leave. See you in the next lesson with the remaining rules of noon sakin, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu-Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.